Have you ever wondered why some entrepreneurs make it and others don't? I'm going to give you the top 4 reasons that most entrepreneurs quit right when they're on the 1-yard line about to achieve success. Thanks for visiting my channel. Please make sure that you press on the subscribe button so that way you can have access to all the content that I'm creating and curating for you. Also, make sure that you participate in the conversation. So if there's something that you liked or something that you found especially useful, please make sure that you comment below. Share this content with other people that you think can benefit from it. And more importantly, press on the bell icon, the little icon below that alerts you anytime I upload new content. Entrepreneurship is hard. It's not for everybody. And it is going to take a certain type of person with a very strong mental will and fortitude. So let's analyze the top 4 reasons that most entrepreneurs quit just before they're about to achieve success. Let's start with number 1. Number 1, people quit because they don't see results fast enough. All right, now look, there is a saying. People tend to overestimate what can be accomplished in 1 year and underestimate what can be accomplished in 5. So the reason that most entrepreneurs give up is really just because they don't see success fast enough, or even a hint of success fast enough. And here's the deal. You can't blame them, just like I can't blame my children. Everyone is part of the prime now generation, right? You can download games, you can download movies, you can download books, you can download music. All of this stuff happens within seconds, perhaps minutes, and then you get to enjoy all of this content. If you want something from the grocery store, you can order it on Prime Now. If you need a little bit of a alcoholic beverage, you can get it from Bevmo using one of their shoppers, right? There's all these things that you can do that are at your fingertips that weren't as accessible just a couple years ago. DoorDash, just recently went public. You've got Postmates, you've got Uber Eats, you have all this stuff. Everything is instant. We live in an instant gratification world. And so what happens is that an entrepreneur who is accustomed to that type of instant gratification has a difficult time wrapping his or her brain around the reality that building a business, there is no shortcut. Okay? You're not going to be able to get Prime Now to deliver this to you. So the results are going to take a lot longer than you ever anticipated. But the good news is that if you continue working on it and if you keep building it, again, you underestimate what can be done in 5 years, but you overestimate what can be done in 1 year. Okay? So the key here is just understanding that you need to commit to building this thing out. You can't just give up after 90 days because you haven't seen any real results. And I realize that that's easier said than done because some businesses are very capital heavy and they require a lot of capital to keep them going. And it's difficult to keep it going when you don't have any revenues coming in. But trust me, stick with it, and eventually you will see the results and then you can build on those things. Okay, so the first reason that most entrepreneurs quit is because they don't see results fast enough. Number 2, the second reason that most entrepreneurs quit is because they don't follow a schedule. See, here's the deal. I have seen people who were once employees go to work. They'll wake up early, they'll stay late, they'll go work on weekends, they'll go when they're sick, they'll work when they're hungover, they'll do all these things to make sure that they go to show up to a job. But the minute that they become an entrepreneur and the minute that they sense some ounce of laziness, or they're a little sick, or they're a little tired, right? The minute that that kicks in as an entrepreneur, it's much easier to walk away from that as opposed to when you were working for somebody else. Why? Because when you were working for somebody else, it was a job and you were more afraid of losing the job than what you have to gain as an entrepreneur. And it boggles my mind that people are more afraid of what they have to lose versus what it is that they have to gain. But that's just the reality of it. And so if you can recondition and rewire your brain, right, to work opposite, right, to where now you're working harder for what you have to gain versus what you have to lose, you'd be surprised by the outcomes and what it is that you can acquire and what it is that you can attain. So it's very important that you follow a schedule. And if you are an entrepreneur and you say, hey, look, I'm going to work 3 hours a day, aside from my current job, 3 hours a day, I'm going to commit to building my business. Then follow that schedule and make sure that those hours are respected, and make sure that you respect the business that you're building, whatever it might be. So it's very important that whatever schedule you create for yourself, that you adhere to that schedule and that you follow that schedule, or you're going to run into problems. And then what's going to happen is, I wasn't able to work today on building my business. I'll work on it tomorrow. And then tomorrow becomes tomorrow. And then tomorrow becomes next week. And then next week becomes next month. And before you knew it, all that motivation that you once had to start your own business or to build your brand is going to die. So make sure that you follow a schedule and you adhere to it. The third reason that most entrepreneurs fail is because they suffer from what is called shiny object syndrome. So, and it kind of ties into what we talked about at number one, which is they don't commit long enough to see the results. Shiny object syndrome is where you as an entrepreneur are so busy looking at all the other different strategies and solutions to what you think you might need for your business that you're bouncing around from one strategy and one technique and one tactic, and you keep moving from one to the next to the next to the next because you think that it's going to work in your business. All right, as a real estate practitioner, which was my primary business, right, for a very, very, very long time, as a real estate practitioner, there's a lot of shiny object syndrome because there's a lot of different CRMs, there's a lot of different websites, there's a lot of different advertising opportunities, there's a lot of different things that I should be investing my money in so that I could continue to build my business. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't invest your money in multiple strategies at the same time, because you will discover that you will need multiple strategies in order to keep the business growing. But what I am suggesting is that you give the strategy that you are going to invest money in enough time to see the results before you start moving on to the next shiny object. So the third reason that most entrepreneurs fail is because they're suffering from the shiny object syndrome, where they're bouncing from one idea to the next idea to the next idea, never fully committing and never fully giving that strategy the opportunity for it to work. Number 4, comparing yourself to other people. Now, this is a real challenging one because I'm guilty of this. We are all guilty of this, especially with social media. If you use social media, you got to understand that people are posting their highlight reels of their life. So you're not going to see people going on there. And then most of the time, they're not going to be talking about all their failures and all their losses and all their screw-ups. Most of the time, what they're doing is they're showcasing the highlights. They're showcasing their wins, not their L's, right? And so it's really important that you stop comparing where you are in your journey to other entrepreneurs, especially because you don't know what they did before, and you don't know what experience they have before, and you don't know what they suffered before in order to be able to achieve what they're currently achieving now. So when you see someone who's succeeding and you see someone that's doing well, it's really easy to say, well, look, they probably didn't have to pay the price that I'm paying right now. They probably didn't have to invest the time that I'm having to invest right now. They probably didn't have to invest the money that I'm having to invest right now. And here's the reality, you're wrong. They did. At some point or another, they had to invest the time, the money, the sacrifice, the blood, the sweat, the tears. They've invested it in their business, or they wouldn't be where they're at right now. Now, here's the deal. There are some people that are able to condense that time frames, and they're able to condense that time frames by doing a couple different things. They find good mentors, right? They do have a little bit of good luck, but you can't get by on all luck. There's going to be some hard work that is going to be invested in order for an entrepreneur to succeed. You just may not be seeing all of it. So when you're at home and you're on your mobile phone and you're looking at somebody else who's in your circle and you see them succeeding in their business, the best thing that you can do is to applaud them and to cheer them on and to congratulate them. That's the best thing that you can do, because ultimately what happens is that there's, number one, there's no envy, and number two, it increases the chances of you being able to call that person and say, hey, John or Jane, look, I see that you've made it. What are the chances that I can sit down with you for 45 minutes to an hour and you can show me what's been working for you, because I need some help with my own business and I want you to come help me, right? So as opposed to operating from a place of envy, you're operating from a place of support, and that gives and opens the door for opportunities for you to be able to learn from that person, right? So stop comparing where you are in your entrepreneurial journey to where someone else is on theirs. So hopefully I've given you the top 4 reasons that most entrepreneurs quit just before they're about to achieve success, okay? Make sure that you implement those strategies. If you have any questions or comments about what I covered with you today, please share them below. If you think someone could benefit from this video, share with them the YouTube link so that they can access it. Make sure that you subscribe, and also make sure that you click on the bell icon so that way you can get alerts anytime new videos are uploaded, all right? I look forward to hearing about your success. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye.